Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. Last time out with our Focus ST project car, we had it on the dyno where we saw some good gains from our Borla exhaust system. Now if we've improved the exhaust, the next logical step to making horsepower is going to be to improve the intake system. So today we're going to remove the stock air intake and replace it with this cold air kit from COBB. COBB is well known in the sport compact market for their excellent fit and finish. Their cold air kit for the Focus ST is going to include the cold air piping itself, silicone couplers, all necessary hardware, and a reusable green air filter. They also give you a nice collection of swag, including a license plate frame, a couple of decals, and even a mail-in postcard where you can get a body color decal for your cold air kit. For this installation, you'll need a 3/8 ratchet, short extension, 15mm socket, 12mm deep socket, 10mm socket, T30 Torx bit, 1/4" ratchet, couple of extensions, 8mm socket, 7mm socket, and a small flathead screwdriver. Our COBB cold air kit is going to replace the factory piping that goes from the turbo behind the engine and then over here to the factory airbox. We're going to start by removing the engine cover and then the cowl cover to give us easier access. To remove the upper cowl cover, we've got to start by removing the wipers. The little rubber covers, you simply pull up on these and remove the nut underneath. Once the wiper's off, we can start with the lower cowl with the 2 Torx screws, one located on either end. The next piece of hardware we've got to remove is underneath these covers. Simply pop straight off. Remove the single bolt on each side. Once the hardware's out, we can remove the cowl. Now we'll start the factory air intake tube removal by removing the mounting stud here for the engine cover. Just remove the bolt right next to it that holds it to the engine cover. Now the bolt to the throttle body. Now we're going to remove the rubber coupler from the box here. Sometimes it's easier to take the battery cover off to get a socket in there a little bit easier. Once you get that loose, we can move over to the turbo side. The clamp on this side is going to be at the bottom of the air intake tube all the way down by your turbo. It's pretty much right down here in the back of the engine. Small screwdriver or a small ratchet, you should be able to get down in there. Now we got to remove the hose from the back of the intake before we take it off. Disconnect this hose here so we have a little more room. Remove our stock air intake pipe. Here you see the turbo. Now we're going to take the silicone reducer supplied by COBB, put the small end on the turbo itself. Put a little bit of silicone spray inside the tube to make it easier. I'm going to put that into place onto our turbo. Make sure you put the clamp on first. Okay, make sure it goes all the way bottom and it's seated. And we can slide the clamp down over the end. All right, put another one of the larger hose clamps over the pipe before we install the actual 3-inch COBB pipe. Again, we're going to spray a little bit of silicone on the end here to make it go easier into the silicone coupler. Now we'll slide the clamp into place and tighten it down. You don't want to tighten it all the way at this point, just get it snug around the top of the silicone coupler. Come back and tighten everything down once we've fitted the rest of the kit. Now we'll put our last 2 hose clamps on the last silicone coupler here and connect it between the main pipe and the airbox. I'll go back and tighten clamp on the turbo side. We have the pipe adjusted that everything's fitting pretty good, but to get the bolts in here, we're actually having a clearance problem with the fuel line. That can happen with some installations. In that case, you'll want to use the factory bushing up front just to lift this up for extra clearance. Put the factory spacer underneath. Then reconnect the line we disconnected earlier. I'll reinstall the stud for the factory engine cover. Now we'll reconnect the hose on the back of the intake. And move on to the airbox. Now we'll remove the 4 bolts that hold the airbox cover on. These will stay attached to the cover, so just once you have them unthreaded, just let them sit there. Now we'll remove the factory paper filter. Now we'll install our reusable filter. Comes with a clamp, but you really don't need it because it's such a tight fit in here, it's not going to go anywhere. And reinstall the cover. Now we can reinstall our cowl. The covers can go back on. Install the wipers. After the last step, we'll reinstall our engine cover. And our installation is finished. We installed the white decal COBB provided, but again, they do give you this postcard that you can mail in and get an actual body color decal to go in your cold air kit. Now we'll start it up and see how it sounds. Wow, it actually made a big difference. You can really hear the turbo through the intake now. Even the recirculation valve's a lot louder. Now let's get it out and take it for a test drive. Definitely hear the intake when you're driving, especially at high RPMs. It's not as noticeable as when we were revving it up in neutral, but you can definitely still hear it when you get on it. Feels good too. Car's really responsive. Can't wait to get it back on the dyno. Our COBB intake fits great, sounds amazing, and by the seat of the pants, it feels like it's making some horsepower too. Installation should only take you around an hour, so you'll be back on the road in no time. For more videos on our Focus ST, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.